To learn the good, the bad, and the reality of the nomadic lifestyle, click the subscribe button so you don't miss anything. Click the bell notification. I try to bring you the reality of the lifestyle as much as I possibly can. Not everything is going to be rainbows and unicorns the entire time living the nomadic lifestyle. Don't get me wrong, there are some amazing highlights in my memory bank about living the nomadic lifestyle. Things I would have never gotten to experience had I never done this lifestyle. For example, I remember the very first time I had that wow moment. We went to Wolf Gap in West Virginia. It was actually on the border of Virginia and West Virginia. And there was this mountain climb hike that we could take. It was a quarter mile. Carolyn and I thought, well, heck, we could do a quarter mile in our sleep. It took us all day to get up to it. It was terrible. And we're tired. We're really not sure what this trail is all about other than it's just exhausting. So we get to the top and I feel like we should be able to see something. There's got to be something to this trail. And so I walk off the trail, I don't know, 20, 30 feet, not very far. And when I walked up off the edge of this mountainside, and I could see miles and miles and miles of pure beauty. That point in my life was the best experience I'd ever had. Now remember, I was on a submarine. So I would spend, several months underwater, and we would pop up and I'd be on lookout watch. I'd be up in the sail and I would see these huge, beautiful snow-capped mountains up there in the Washington area. And it was just breathtaking. But here I was on top of the mountain. So, those kind of experiences are just breathtaking. When we went to South Dakota, same thing. I didn't really have a huge expectation of going to South Dakota. We went to the Badlands. Well, we weren't in the Badlands. We were actually in the national grasslands. The Badlands are actually inside the grasslands. And so we were right outside of it. We could see the blinking lights to the gate to the Badlands National Park. And like I said, I've been through South Dakota several times coming home from the military, and I just never found it very interesting. It was a lot of just nothingness driving Highway 90 through South Dakota. You see these signs that says wall drug, wall drug. Well, I thought, well, if we don't like it here, we can go ahead and go into the Black Hills National Forest. Well, we got there, I don't know, 9 o'clock or so, 8:30, 9 o'clock, and we pulled up to the camp spot. The next morning I got up and I looked out the window, sunrise, looked out the window, and I just saw breathtaking, oh my goodness moment. So, these experiences I would have never gotten to share with you, or I wouldn't have these experiences locked in my head if I hadn't done the nomadic lifestyle. So that's the good. But the reality is you don't get to spend every moment at these breathtaking areas. You spend a lot of time in areas like this. And so what we have here, I don't know, right there, that concrete slab right there, that is a pad that you can throw your frisbees. It's called frisbee golf or something like that. And you throw your frisbees. This is a city park. We've been in the city parks for just about 3 weeks now, 2 or 3 weeks. These city parks are littered throughout the Lubbock, Texas area. There's some in New Mexico. There is enough of these that you can circle each one. You can stay at these things for 3 to 5 days, and you can circle Lubbock, Texas, and it takes you a little over a month to get to each campground. So during the fall, our plan has been to come to these city parks because they have free electric and free water, and they're in town. And this is going to keep us relatively comfortable for the next 2 months, October and November. Now, after November, we're not really sure just yet what we're going to do. Our expectation is that we'll go further south in Texas to the Gulf Coast, but we're definitely going to stay here through the fall. The temperatures are fairly mild. It gets down in the 40s in the evening, 70s in the daytime high. And we have this little 250 watt heater that we can turn on. And it's just real convenient. Carolyn and I can walk to town. We can go to Dollar Tree or get an ice cream at Dairy Queen. There's a Dollar General just up the street here. And so this is what happens to us a lot. I got stuck last winter in Missouri. We had an emergency. We had to go back to Missouri. And we spent the first half of the winter in Missouri. It got down to -2 degrees. We had like 21 inches of snow one day. And here I am living in this little wooden box that I built by myself. And is it designed for this kind of weather? Well, no, it's not designed for this kind of cold. And sure enough, we had some cold weather related issues with the camper. So when you're thinking about the nomadic lifestyle, you can't constantly be thinking about all the great things you're going to see. I hear so many people say, well, that's why you snowbird. Well, this is snowbirding right here. And so you're going to have to resign to the idea that you are limited in your travels if you're going to snowbird. I know that there is one YouTuber, a really good YouTuber, who drives around in his pop-up camper. And he calls himself a traveler, not a nomad. And he does a lot of winter activities in the north. I mean, last winter I saw him in the Badlands, the place that I stayed, in the wintertime. And so, yeah, if you want to travel and you want to endure those kind of cold weather climates, then yeah, by all means do it. But if you're sitting at home thinking, man, I'm going to go to the Arizona desert and it's going to be great. Well, the Arizona desert gets cold also. It's going to get down into the 20s and 30s. All you got to do is watch YouTube videos. And they tell you, even though they're not wanting to tell you, they slip it in there every now and then. They'll say, yeah, I got down to 27. And most people don't hear that. They only hear about, wow, look at the sunrise. And so I really am hoping that you will take my videos and you'll say, okay, I'm going to have some magnificent times in my life. Those breathtaking, this is once in a lifetime opportunity. But most of the time, you're just going to be traveling from one location to another. Just like in real life, you plan out your traveling vacations. You leave your stick and brick, you get in your RV, and you travel to a location, in springtime or summertime. And then when winter comes, you come back home and you do your wintertime things. You just kind of hibernate. Well, it's the same thing. We're just kind of hibernating right now. This is life. This is the reality of the nomadic lifestyle. Thanks for watching. Quick like if you like video, and happy travels.